Oh boy, I gotta restart this thing again. I need to figure out what the problem is. Can you hear me at all?
Yes, yes.
Okay, let me start it again.
Art's back. Let's see if he can hear us. Can you hear us? Art?
Try turning your audio, click on it
now
a couple of times.
Now his mic is muted. I can't turn it on. I
Try selecting your audio device. Click on, right-click the microphone or click the microphone and select your device again. He's got a roulette wheel there.
Can you hear us, Art? Your mic is muted. Unmute, unmute. I'm clicking on unmute and it won't let me do it. There it goes.
Can you hear me now?
There we go. Can you hear us?
Okay, but I can't hear you. So let me go and.
It'll be under the microphone.
That's weird.
That is weird. I don't know why you can't hear us.
I'm going to leave and come back again.
Technology. Gotta love technology. Well, all right. Here he is again. And his mic is muted again. And his mic is unmuted.
Can you hear me?
Can
Yes.
you hear me? Can you hear me?
me?
I can hear. Oh my gosh. Can you hear us? You know, when you go and listen to the video, you'll hear all of us. I don't know.
This is weird.
I don't know. I know we've lost Kenny.
Yeah, Kenny gets lost about first half. He's gone. He doesn't come back. No, he never returned.
You usually get Vicente. He got here late today, though. Can you hear us, Art?
Still can't hear you.
Mm.
Okay.
We can hear you just fine.
I mean, I see your microphones bouncing up and down, but no dice. So let me leave and come back again.
Poor Art.
Yeah.
See, I don't have the ability to, I don't know. I don't know what to do for him. I wonder if he's running an old version of the software. They updated the software again.
I think we may have to mark this one up as a feature. They hadn't fixed that.
Art seems to have the most problem with it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a repeat offender.
All right. One more time. Here he comes.
We want to fake him off and move our lips.
You're muted, you're muted.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can. I'll tell you what I did. Usually I just double click on the link in the email. This time I copied the link and put it into Chrome, into a Chrome browser, and it came up with sound.
Interesting.
So maybe that's the trick.
That is, I don't know. That is interesting. So I take it you're actually on the browser. You're not using the software.
Well, I have had trouble using the software for other meetings because I have the software installed and licensed for the school.
Oh, okay.
So I think my impression is you can only be using that software for one license. Now, that's a wild conjecture. I don't have any facts to back that up, but I've been unsuccessful in using the licensed software on my workstation for anything except my school class.
Okay.
So I have to explore that. To be honest with you, I just don't know offhand.
I don't know if Zoom changed this or not, but months ago when we first started using Zoom, when I read through their thing, it sounded to me like even if you were not the host, but you had a licensed copy, that would extend the 40 minutes out for everybody. So any one person who joined your thing that had the license could actually extend your meeting out. That is probably not what they actually meant to say, but I think that that's how it read. So.
Okay, well, I think there may be an exception for this because this is the license that I have for school is a California statewide license for all educational institutions.
Right.
That includes the community college, the Cal State system, and the UC system.
Yeah.
And my granddaughter, it turns out, was using Zoom for her high school classes, or some of her high school classes. And I believe it covers that for at least the public high schools. So they may have some special stuff. For example, I'll tell you that the school version doesn't license closed captioning.
Okay.
So, and closed captioning, particularly when you're dealing with people for whom English is not their mother tongue, is kind of handy because sometimes they're difficult to understand.
Yeah.
At any rate, the trick seems to be on this one, and of course I'm running on Linux, but the trick on this seems to be to grab the link and opening it in Chrome.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. I really haven't explored it a lot. I use Zoom a lot. We're co-teaching a course. I'm assisting in teaching a course, 2 courses on Wednesday night. And so, and then every other weekend, my family and I get together on Zoom, but that is specifically a license that's held by my daughter.
Yeah.
One of the $15 a month licenses for. But it's very nice. It's actually pretty much unlimited usage. I mean, as a practical matter, I think it's got a max of like 100 people and no time limit. Well, frankly, if you got 100 of my relatives together on the same screen, I'm not sure I'd want to be there. But,
it makes sense that for some institutions they would have a different kind of licensing deal. It would that would make sense.
well, I assume with a volume like that,
Yeah.
they've got some negotiating power there. So.
Yeah, that's what would make sense about it, because you could end up with pretty large classes, or everybody
Yeah, well,
from the state in there.
I'll tell you what, I would love to have had a couple of blocks of Zoom stock, but I think it's too late for that.
Yeah. Who knew? All of a sudden,
Well,
Zoom's a thing.
that's always true in the stock market, is that if you could find out what was going to happen next Tuesday, you'd be in good shape. So, at any rate, so we lost Vincente, Ken.
Yeah. Vicente showed up late and he hasn't showed up again. I don't know.
Here are COVID-19 numbers. Again, I started plotting California, Texas, and Florida separately. And the U.S. separately. The one on the left is U.S. This is looking pretty good, going down slowly. And looks like California is going down slowly, according to the straight line plot, but real slowly. If you look at the last 7 days, it looks like it's trending down. I noticed today. Yeah.
So does the U.S. know, since you're plotting California, Texas, and Florida separately, have you removed those then from the U.S. numbers?
Yes, they were. They're still in there. If you look at the browser tracker spreadsheet, all those numbers are still there.
Uh-huh.
The only thing that's changed is the trend sheet. There's a separate trend sheet. I summarize the data on the spreadsheet and move it over to the trend sheet, and you have two trends there. That's the one on the left is United States, one on the right's Florida, Texas, California.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And you can go directly to the trend chart if you want to and look at it live. It's pretty much 9-9. I got 9-10 data in there, but not on the trend chart yet. In fact, I've got to update it. I'm finding out that the data doesn't get solid till like 8 o'clock, 8:30, and I try to get the data late. And if I miss it, then I just pick up the next day's totals and do the subtraction myself. And that way, if I miss it, I can catch up the next day.
Well, with the artifacts and reporting, though, I would think day to day would be pretty noisy. You really have to do a rolling average, I think, to take out the noise, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. You see this peak? This is every week, the Wednesday peak, and the weekends are, here they are, Saturday and Sunday. And then Monday, that great. But you get up to Wednesday or Thursday and you see the peak. You can see the repetition there. Those are about a week apart, a week apart, a week apart. Bong, bong, bong. I think they do a test to see if it's COVID-19, and that occurs on a particular day. So some days are more than others. Like today, we got 398 for Florida, I think it was. And we're like, wow. Well, that's just, you can't do that. Statistically, that's not going to happen on something like we're looking at, unless people would be screaming their lungs out. Yeah, there's Florida, way the heck up there. Of course, they're pretty high anyway. That's not today's data. That's from yesterday. It looks like it'll be even higher than that for today. I'll get the final data in, but you can tell these diamonds here are 7-day moving averages. So that takes the weekly bumps out, and I do pretty good. I think that's pretty good. You get a pretty meaningful thing. And that's that. And Never Split the Difference is the latest book that we've added to the book of the month. I've read a couple after that. I'm reading a Conley now.
Which Conley are you reading? Is this his latest?
I don't know. I had so many come in at one time. I'm not sure. Let me pull out my phone. Fair warning. Oh yeah, it's going to play it for me instead of bringing it up. But anyhow, if it's good, I'll let you know.
Well, I pretty much read all of the Conleys sooner or later. It's just a question of, his stuff, particularly the Bosch stuff, you kind of got to read in order because they're fairly cumulative. If you get out of order, it's confusing, or at least is to me.
The last Bosch one that came out in November last year, I read it, and it actually was wearing on me a little bit. It was kind of a repeat. They changed the beginning detective, and it's a female again, and that got me a little repetitious. It was, pretty readable, but a little bit repetitious.
Well, now for several of them, he had some other female lead detective.
Yeah.
This was after he retired or was semi-retired.
Yeah.
I guess you could call it that after he was cashiered, basically.
And it was the theme of somebody in the department was playing games. Somebody was crooked. So he'd done that theme before. So it's kind of a redo, but still a pretty good read.
Yeah.
Here's Vicente. Here comes Vicente.
Okay.
There he is.
Okay.
Again,
welcome back.
Hi.
Again, the news this week is everybody's looking for the super battery, and the new graphene-based super battery charges in 15 seconds. These are right now are similar to the lithium ions, the ones at 4.7 volts that me and Leroy use. Similar size, but a 15-second charge time. What that means is the charge rate can be extremely high, and this could be very useful in the automotive industry. Where you have a charging station. If you can charge your car battery in a minute, that's going to be very popular.
Well, that makes it competitive with gasoline where
Gasoline.
you
Yeah.
take 2 or 3 minutes to fill your tank.
Yeah.
One of the big problems with the old lithium ions is you got to sit there for a half an hour or longer to get a reasonable charge. So
And-
are these actually commercially available, or are they more science fiction?
These, and if you looked at all of them that were theoretical, you would go nuts. And I was thinking of suicide today when I was watching them for the super batteries. Oh, seriously. So this one actually had pictures of the batteries there. Okay, so you can click on that link and it'll show you pictures of the battery, and I'll do that in a second. The disadvantage is the power density is low, not as good as the lithium ions. And here we go. So there we go. And this is graphene now. We picked up graphene early and figured out, hey, there's something going on with that. This could be really big. It's already big, and it's been like 3 or 4 years, and look at it. And look at the batteries there. Super batteries. So, yeah, I'm sure there's some weaknesses in there that they may not be telling us about, but if they compete with the nickel metal hydrides and it beats lead acid and nickel metal hydride, reaching 60 watt hours per kilogram. That's about 60 watt hours per pound. It sounds like they're getting some stuff done. Not bad.
Well, there's certainly a heck of an economic incentive for it, that's for sure.
Yeah, and for cars, this is ideal for cars. For power, maybe not so much because of the density.
Well, you can recharge every 100 miles, 15 seconds. It's not a problem.
Yeah.
Just get out of the route, charge, and go and continue.
What you would need there, what you would see is a 230 kV line coming down off a transformer to the charging station, because it's gonna be 2,000 amp charge rate. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah. Your amps are going to be outrageous.
But you can do that. I mean,
Huge wires.
yeah, it would be worth it if you could charge it in a minute. If you could charge it in 30 seconds, people would do that, and they'd put a transmission drop down there, and away you go.
If you could charge it it takes about 5 minutes to fill my car up.
Yeah.
So if you can charge it in 5 minutes or less, you're right there with gasoline.
Well,
The range is different. No.
Yeah.
Your tank will give you 400 miles or so, 300.
My car is about 300 miles.
Okay, but this battery with this density, I don't know what's the relationship with the lithium in density. Is half or double or what?
Well, that would go to how much does it cost to charge the car up then.
Yeah, that's a valid point, what you're saying there, Vicente.
Yeah.
How far can you go? It's not, they say it's not a lithium. Okay, so that's the downside for short range cars, where the power density, where you're not going that far, the power density is less. But if you can only drive 100 miles, okay, that might be fine for a lot of people with the lowered power density.
a lot of people who are using the car for commuting
Yeah.
probably aren't going more than 20, 30 miles. I mean,
Right.
But you don't need fast charging for commuting because you left your car in a place.
Here's the advantage of this. You're going to get twice the mileage effectively. And why do I say that? Because when you pull in at work, you can plug it in for 15 seconds and you're done, or for a minute, and you can go right back. You can get right back on the road. So it's just stop And if you stop at work,
But
it would.
how much does the electricity cost? Because if the electricity costs as much as the gas, then if you're filling it, if you're recharging it twice as much, then it's costing you twice as much to drive that car.
Well, the cost is going to be the same whether you're doing lithium ion or you're doing graphene.
Well,
Okay, the
that's
cost,
not,
the cost of electricity.
yeah, but if gasoline is $2 a gallon and electricity cost is $2 to charge it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? In the future, surely there will be laws that force you to change to electricity, or some taxes to the gas to force people to move to electricity.
All right,
That's
it's the cost. Right now, I can fill my car up for under $30 most of the time, and drive it 300 miles, and not worry about it.
I
So
suspect
that would be my. If they could get the charging time down to 5 minutes or less for a car, and the cost is the cost for the electricity is just as cheap, there's no reason why you wouldn't want to do that, I don't think.
no, now you don't have economic reasons to do that, but in the future, many cities will force you to use electricity. If you are on gas, you cannot go into the downtown area or something like that.
Yeah,
So
well, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
I think the electric is already cheaper than gas. I think it is already cheaper because you're talking about 10 cents per kilowatt hour. Now in California, it's probably 20 cents per kilowatt hour. Out here, it's more like 10, 12.
But how many charging stations are there? And how many, I mean, if you had to put a charging station in at your home, it's $10,000 to do that. That's not cheaper.
Oh, the charging station, they make charging stations now for the all electrics, the Leafs, the Teslas.
Yeah, they're not cheaper.
The Tesla is fully chargeable, and they're less than $500 for 120 volt one. It's a couple of $100. But you had to buy the 240 one to charge, and if you want to charge in 4 hours, you got to buy the 240 volt ones. Okay, they're not $2,000 for a charger. They're not. We'll have to find that. We'll have to argue about that one.
They were.
It's a homework for the next week.
Yeah.
A home charging station was expensive.
Also, in the power industry, the Chinese are putting up another nuclear plant going into operation. And how many have we put up since '92? Probably near zero.
I was going to say zeros comes to mind.
Yeah. They are talking about the standardized nuclear units, but the Chinese have figured it out. They're going to have to go nuclear for the interim before they go solar or whatever, wind. It's just got to be that way, and they're doing it. This is their 5th station there, and away they go.
So what's the capacity of these Chinese stations?
Well, they told us how many gigawatts they had. It wasn't a tremendous amount.
That said Taiwanese, not Chinese.
No, it's Tianwan. That's not Taiwan. That's Tianwan nuclear plant in China's province.
Okay.
Tesla charging station is $630 to $1,100, and whatever your electrician charges you to put it in.
Exactly. That's a cheap charger. Running out of time.
$1,000?
Yeah. That's cheap. You're gonna use it for 15, 20 years, know, if you get 1,000 every year, no, that's a one-time fee. Ask, is it cheaper to burn gas or electricity in a car? Which is cheaper, gas or electric cars? Let's see. Okay, it's 19 gigawatts is what they have. That's about what we have in solar. Okay, they have in nuclear.
So in electricity, it would cost about $13 to fill up a Tesla X.
Okay,
Um,
that's $13 to fill up. How many miles you get? 300?
I'm looking because
Yeah. And that's going to be the same as yours. You fill yours up for $13?
I have. I typically get it around 20 or 25, but it's a 16-gallon tank, so.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Well, if you get 300 miles out of it,
I'm not really seeing mileage. I'm seeing a lot.
13 bucks. It's about 300. $13 for 300 miles. That sounds pretty dang.
That's not bad. I'll
No.
give you that's not bad.
Okay. I win that one. Do you say Jim won that one? Grand Poobah
You
win?
won that one. I still think the charger costs too much. But
Well, it's just a one-time charge. You'll pay that back in 6 months, a year, maybe.
I think the Teslas cost too much anyway, but
The Teslas are rated below the Land Rover as far as reliability, guys. Okay.
I don't see anything here that actually talks about mileage.
British guys here.
But
yeah,
I would have a tendency to believe that it's probably close to that 300 mark.
yeah. Otherwise, people wouldn't buy it. 200 was, I think some of the older ones did 200, and it just wasn't quite enough.
It says it does depend on what you're paying per kilowatt hour, but 13-ish is the average.
Yeah.
So I guess that's not horrible.
So who's going to buy the Tesla?
Not me. I might buy one used if it comes up for auction or something. But
Yeah, we was talking about the police auction for us, for our Tesla. Our first Tesla will come
our
from
first Tesla. California's got a Tesla, don't they? Doesn't CHP have a Tesla, Art?
I didn't get what did you say doesn't have?
Does CHP have a couple of Teslas in their fleet?
I'm still not hearing what you're saying.
California Highway Patrol.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Don't they have a couple of Teslas?
That's experimental. And then they're also putting electric buses in all over the place and putting in, starting to use battery operated, 18-wheelers, but that's just on the leading edge at this point.
Right.
But I got to tell you, you pull up a traffic light here in Fremont, and my old Corolla is the only non-Tesla in the string. They're pretty numerous in this area. I suppose having the plant about half a mile away has something to do with that. But charging stations here are all over the place. Pretty much
but you're in California.
Every parking lot has a certain number of charging stations. You go to Whole Foods or Safeway or whatever.
There's a few charging stations that I know of here, but
2 years ago, I saw a lot of hotels also with the Tesla chargers in the parking lot. in
What was
California.
this?
In California,
Where was this?
in California, I was traveling from San Diego to Lake Tahoe, and almost all the hotels have Tesla chargers. I am talking about 2 years ago,
Yeah.
and
Well,
now
there's-
must be more than that.
There are lots and lots of charging stations here.
Yeah. I know of.
I have a charger in my garage for a Tesla. When I bought this house, there is a charger for the Tesla in the garage already.
So now you got to get a Tesla.
I need a Tesla only. I'm changing to electrical everything.
I know of. I think there's 3, maybe 4 charging stations in the immediate, 15-mile radius, but we don't have a whole lot of charging stations around here. So if we were going to get a Tesla, we would have to have a charging station at our house.
Okay, guys, there's a data on the cost. What does that say, Art? What's your judgment on this?
Well, you have to blow it up a bit so I can see it. I can't read the legends on it. Is there any way for you to expand that?
Can you zoom in the green chart?
I was trying to zoom it, but
There is a plus in the lower left or right, right. There is a
I
plus. Yeah, there.
There you go. That's better.
So
A little more.
There. Okay.
the red dotted line and the blue dotted line are about what my car gets, somewhere in between that.
Uh-huh.
there's 22 miles per gallon. Okay, and the cost per kilowatt, cost per mile. Okay,
It's
the
about
cost per mile. So here's 22 miles per gallon. The cost per mile.
is about 20 is about 9 cents a mile. No. Oh,
That's 10 cents.
Well, for California, unfortunately, the right-hand chart doesn't go up far enough. I mean, our cost per gallon is typically someplace between $3.50 and $4 a gallon. So,
But here's the clue. All the gasoline bars are over here. You got
Yep.
that?
yep,
All the electric bars are over here.
yep.
So in general, one would say the
It's less expensive. Yeah.
electricity is less expensive in general. No question.
okay, so I keep track of my mileage on my phone. And yes, my car does fit right in between the blue dotted line and the red dotted line. And I'm paying about 10 cents a gallon right now.
10 cents a gallon?
No, 10 cents a 10
Mile.
cents a mile. 10 cents a gallon.
I was going to say, I can remember when gasoline was 25 cents a gallon, but I can't remember 10
Art is
cents.
moving in immediately. Move
Yeah.
to Ohio.
So these are talking about 4 cents, 6 cents, and 8 cents per kilowatt hour per
Uh-huh.
per mile.
Yep.
Per mile. 8 cents per mile is the worst ones. So it looks like it's probably true that the gas is more economical. I mean, the electric is more economical.
It certainly looks that way. Where'd you get